that you wouldn't sneak by Wise Dan, you'd have to blow his doors off, and we'd have to be the best horse on the day. And as far as I'm concerned, come on, Wise Dan.
Wise Dan loves this turf course, and Woodbine loves having him. You know, if we have to run second, it's no shame to run second to him.
Said improving our position would be redemption.
The rest is history, so to speak. You know, he's finally broken through this year and got that big stake win for us, and he's run some really good races.
Doing tremendous. He's doing really, really good.
But then to take that step and open up the doors to Grade 1 races with huge accolades, as Dan Loisel would say, which draw people from all over the world, not just North America. We've had some of the best milers come to Woodbine.
Perfect. Saul is closing like a rocket on the far outside. Soaring Free has the lead. Royal Regalia is coming to stretch here at Woodbine. Wise Dan is next to the rail. Excaper and all out drive on the outside. And he's at 30. Here is the finish. Why, he's at 30. A shocking winner of the Woodbine Mile.
The Woodbine Mile has seen some of the best turf horses from around the world. In 2004, top Canadian Samson Farms contender Soaring Free led at the top of the stretch in the Auto Mile. Turning for home, Soaring Free had to fight willingly in the stretch to hold on to win his first mile.
Free has the lead. Royal Regalia is coming back on the inside. Perfect Soul on the outside. But it's Soaring Free.
Le Roi des Animaux led all the way in the mile and won by the largest margin of victory in mile history. It's an early morning here on the Woodbine backside, and Excaper is getting ready for his final timed workout before the Play the King Stakes in preparation for the Rico Woodbine Mile.
Have him running to the hole because I know he can squeeze off 12s without even trying. So, that was a you gonna smile at him? Come on, in your house. The boss wanted a happy 5/8 breezing, and that's what we got. Excaper's a one of a kind. He's proven himself on the track time and time again, and this is what we're here for. This is what jockeys and trainers and owners as well look for, is these kinds of horses. So to be able to get back on them and get a chance to give a good horse a steer around a track against other good horses in a good horse race, it feels pretty good.
Turning for home in the Breeders' Cup. I mean, all week he was down there, he was training amazing. Turning for home, we just wanted to be comfortable, and he was. And, Emma was riding him with a lot of confidence like she always does. And he kicks away, and I mean, I'm yelling and screaming, and I'll never forget, I got the CBC or whatever network TV camera right in front of my face doing the reaction on me like they always show. And I actually can't even see the race for about 70 yards. I'm getting ready to push the guy out of the way because I'm yelling and screaming so loud at the horse.
It's funny because as you ask it, that you're living in the moment so significantly that it's hard to really put an emotion to it. It's just riding. It's just visceral riding, and that is nothing more. Wire, yes, I lost, and there was that disappointment of running second, but then there was that realization that we just ran second in a Breeders' Cup race. That feels pretty good to look back on, and it's a feather in your cap. But like you said, where's that? I want that elusive Breeders' Cup win.
The top turf rider in Canada this year is Emma Jane Wilson, who's got a 2-race commitment to ride Excaper in both the Play the King and Woodbine Mile.
I mean, I would say that the most important thing is to be patient. It's just a lot of things can happen. Turf races, you have quite a lot of late closing kick. Sometimes you can have speed carry, sometimes you don't. Paying attention to the lanes is very, very important. That as a handicapper as well. You get into lane 1, it's a completely different turf course versus lane 5, lane 6. Just changes the dynamic of the way the races can play. So paying attention and being patient is very important.
In 2007, champion trainer Ian Black sent out his first Queen's Plate starter in Mike Fox. Emma Jane Wilson and Ian Black have teamed up to win a Canadian $1 million race before in the Queen's Plate.
They're off in the Queen's Plate at the top of the stretch. And it's Alessandro asked for everything he has. Mike Fox on the outside! Mike Fox got it! And Emma Jane Wilson becomes the first female jockey to win the Queen's Plate in 148 years, and she does it with a masterful ride aboard Mike Fox.
Riding this horse because no female had won it before. You know, just a couple years previous, Josie Carroll became the first female trainer to win it, and Emma's been one of the top riders at Woodbine for years now, and you know, she's really stapled herself into this industry. She's competed all over the world representing jockeys. And now when you talk about Emma, you don't even put the word female with her. She's just a top-rate jock. And I remember after the race when she's on her jog back to the winner's enclosure and the ponies there and the TVs there, you know, they asked her very quickly, Emma Wilson, how does it feel to become the first female jockey to win this race? And she was very quick to put it aside. She says, been there, done that, have the shirt, let's move on. And that's just Emma. You know, she's 100% class, 100% talent, and she's all about this sport and improving this sport, and she's one of the best riders out there.
There's something to be said about greatness. Greatness coming in the form of Wise Dan, a 6-time Eclipse winner, 2-time Horse of the Year, and 2-time Breeders' Cup Mile champion. The last 2 years, Wise Dan has used the Woodbine Mile as a prep towards the Breeders' Cup, winning both of those events. This year, there's a chance that Wise Dan might not participate in the Woodbine Mile due to having colic earlier this year. He's since come back to work twice, going 4 furlongs both times. For the chance that Wise Dan doesn't participate in the 2014 mile, leaving the door wide open for the Canadian contender Excaper. Excaper led all the way in the 2013 mile, but had to falter late in the stretch due to running too quick too early. Or maybe he was a little short of breath in the final few furlongs. This year, Excaper has undergone some surgery, which has really helped his performances this year, making him one of the top Canadians, pointing towards the Woodbine Mile.
So, it's a very common operation that you do on horses. Horses that have a little bit of problem breathing, we do a myectomy on them. And it was done down in Florida, and Dr. Greg Fox noticed one day after he worked that he was displacing a little bit, and he thought it would be a good idea to do it. And, you know, after talking with the owners and Ian and Greg, you know, it was obvious that that was the move to make, and so we made it. And you know, the rest is history, so to speak. You know, he's finally broken through this year and got that big stake win for us, and he's run some really good races. You know, the race at Keeneland was very impressive as well.
So as Excaper continues to prepare off of that 103 breezing on the turf, in pursuit of the Play the King, with the main goal being the Rico Woodbine Mile.